Maybe try it right about there. Still not great. Got the sun just in the right way. I got to keep moving around here because the shadows and the sun is just getting in the way. Welcome back to the program here. Lots of new happenings once again all over the world. The head of Hamas taken out. The Al Smith Catholic Dinner fundraiser in New York City last night. And the sun is just not working out well. I'm going to have to find a place. These branches are right there. Doesn't quite work out. But hey, nobody's watching the program right now. It's just me, so what does it matter? Friday, October 18th, 2024. Thanks for being here. Nobody. It's just me. Thank you, YouTube, for not notifying any of my subscribers that I'm live. I do appreciate that. It's very kind of YouTube. Oh, 4 people just showed up. So there you go. Welcome back to the program, folks. I thought I'd try the vertical orientation today. I'm running a bit late here on the lunch hour, and people are coming back from their lunch and driving around here, so it's a bit distracting. So apologies for that. The reason, oh, that's a nice BMW X5. Yeah, the reason that they're coming back now is I got a late lunch start because I was busy working a lot, pressing stuff to get done today. 9 folks here. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the news, folks. I've got some stories to share with you today. Maxim, the men's magazine, has endorsed Donald Trump. It didn't say why, but they have endorsed him for president of the United States. In South Africa, ANC counselor in Tshwane, Eugene Modise, is going to sue the Democratic Alliance after DA counselor Jackie Ice urged him to repay his debt to the city of 600,000 Rand. Now, how in the world does a resident of the city owe 600,000 Rand? That is $31,578 to the city. Well, it turns out that Mr. Modise, the counselor, is a landlord. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Okay, so greetings, everybody. You and Ronaldo are synced up on lives. Well, synced up on lives. Is that what you're trying to say? Well, I control that. So, anyway, how you doing, Rebel Canners? So, $31,578 he owes to the city, according to the Democratic Alliance. On his part, now the mower's coming. I hope you can't hear that, but that's very distracting. They're cutting the grass. For his part, Modise says he paid that debt 3 months ago, which begs the question, if that's true, what the heck is wrong with the Democratic Alliance bringing this up in the conversation at the council meeting? So I don't know what the truth of the matter is, but still, how does he rack up $31,578 in debt? 600,000 Rand. Well, he's a landlord, and his tenants didn't pay their rates, which he has, or didn't pay something, their utility bills, so he got hit with the utility bills. Now, who has that many tenants that you owe $32,000 in back debt? Look, my electric bill is never more than, before I put solar panels in, never more than about $250 a month in a terrible month. So 250 times 4, be 1,000. If we had 4 tenants, and how many months would that take then? 31 months? Must have a lot of tenants. Must be a rich slumlord. Anyway, but I'm not here to castigate Mr. Modise, who may be perfectly innocent in this. I don't know, but certainly to ask a question about the Democratic Alliance. Why are they asking these questions in this fashion at this time? Hello, Hester. How's it going? Keith? So, a former ANC Minister of Labor, Mbatisi Mdalana, has passed away at the age of 72 from a short illness. They're dropping like flies, these fossils in the African National Congress. Now, turning attention here to the United States, Donald Trump said last night at the Al Smith dinner that Robert Kennedy Jr. would be in his administration. So there you have it, folks. If you're a Kennedy supporter and you want to see Kennedy in government, you're going to vote for Donald Trump, hopefully. Now, Kamala Harris made another gaffe. Brett just gave who eliminated the Khoisan worse, Bantu or whites? Well, it's a fair question, Brett. I don't think we have accurate numbers of estimates of the population of Khoisan populations when Europeans arrived, as compared to when the Bantu arrived. When the Nguni-speaking people arrived much earlier, we don't have accurate numbers. We can definitively say how many Khoisan were affected by Europeans and the intermixing with Europeans. That's certainly the case. No doubt more Khoisan live today, and their offspring who descended through colored population and the white Afrikaans population that existed in 1652. However, we don't know what the population was. I haven't seen good estimates, so it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, Brett, but thank you for the super chat. Right, so Kamala Harris put her foot in the mouth. God bless it, that's really annoying. Sorry, I'm trying not to have my face in the shade and then my forehead in the sun. It's just really not good image for you guys to watch. That's probably a good spot right there for at least a moment as the earth rotates around the sun. Anyway, so Kamala Harris put her foot in her mouth. She said that I stood up to veterans, and the crowd What do you mean you stood up to veterans? She said, I stood up to veterans and stood for. Now, this is a gaffe. It's a mistake. I'm not going to castigate her for that. She's on the campaign trail. She's not particularly bright, so it's not surprising she has, word salad stumbles like this. I don't think she actually stood up to veterans. I think she just misspoke. So we'll give her a free pass on this one. But she's dumb as a box of rocks, so it's not surprising this would happen. Not surprising that would happen. Well, Israel, by the way, that campaign event where she did that in Wisconsin, where she said, I stood up to veterans, there were 4,000 people present. 4,000 people showed up at her campaign rally. That's incredible. 107,000 in Butler, Pennsylvania for Donald Trump, and 4,000 for Kamala Harris in Wisconsin. Very impressed. Very impressed. Not. Israel, of course, this is old news now, but people are talking about it endlessly. Israel has taken out the Hamas leader, the man, the architect behind the October 7th terror attacks in Israel, and that's Yahya Sinwar. He is no longer on this planet. Got his just desserts. Unfortunately, probably didn't suffer enough. He was spotted with other militants. That would be a word for the T folks. And the Israelis engaged him. He was wounded, shot in the arm, and stumbled into a building trying to hide from drone coverage. And the drone found him, swung in towards the building, and he threw a stick at the drone, apparently tried to stop it. The Israelis got him with the drone, then came in with an artillery strike, and the building collapsed around him. He is no longer with us, and an evil person has been eliminated from the count of humanity. Right, gold is trading at $2,700 an ounce, the historic level, but bear in mind that the dollar isn't worth anything. So, $2,700 today, what was that in 1970 when gold was, $35 an ounce at a fixed price by the U.S. Treasury? So $2,700, if we adjust it for inflation, it's high, but it's still not as high as it looks. 1,500 North Koreans spotted training in the far east of Russia for deployment to Ukraine, as Russia seeks support from its allies in the axis of evil. These 1,500 North Koreans are special forces, and I can tell you North Korean special forces are very well trained, very well disciplined, very dedicated, but not very bright. For the most part, they have very limited capability to go beyond what they've been trained to do and act independently. But 1,500 special forces dumped in eastern Ukraine could have an impact. Apparently, Russia will be getting up to 10,000 North Korean soldiers to fight their war against Ukraine. Yes. 153 people are dead, have perished after a fuel tanker overturned in a town in northern Nigeria. Fuel pouring out, people rushing up to get the free grab of fuel. Things are desperate. 153 people died in the explosion. 100 others are injured, many grievously, after a explosion of that tanker that overturned in Majija in Jigwa State in northern Nigeria. Another tragedy. We got boats sinking in Nigeria. We've got buildings collapsing in Nigeria. We've got terrorists killing Christians in Nigeria. We've got pastoralists and herder and sedentary farmers having conflicts. We have everything, Boko Haram, under the sun. Nigeria, what a tough place to live in these days. Ursula von der Leyen, the lying head of the European Union Commission, is now proposing mass deportations in Europe for people from Afghanistan and Syria for a starter. And of course, Poland is seeking to ban all asylum seekers. And Europeans who like to look down their noses and claim Americans are white Christian nationalists, their measures are even more draconian than anything Donald Trump is proposing. Isn't that interesting, to say the least? Isn't that interesting? Folks, I'm not sure if Hurricane Helene is actually going to have the impact on the election that we think it might have. Specifically, I've cautioned people about the tragedy in the western counties of North Carolina, where entire villages are just wiped off the map. 1,000+ people still missing, reportedly. Some will never be found, buried under debris, located miles from where they came from. People's bodies disarticulated and spread in parts all over. Horrific situation. But the concern was that polling stations would not be able to open up, and that voters will not be able to vote. The loss of 1,000 people when it comes to the voting total of 5.4 million people in North Carolina, many of those people not even voters, youth and those who don't or aren't eligible to vote. So that doesn't have the real impact. The real impact is if these polling stations were closed, people couldn't poll. But North Carolina, another one of these idiotic states, has opened up its early voting. And on the first day of early voting, North Carolina set a record. 350,000 early ballots were cast at polling stations. The polling stations are open. People can go vote anytime now. This is ridiculous. We have a single day of voting, and that's how it's supposed to be. But right now, North Carolina, you can vote. 350,000 ballots were cast on the first day of open voting, and that's plus an additional 75,133 legitimate federal absentee mail-in ballots. So that is 428,000 people in North Carolina have already voted. Assume they're all legitimate. We don't know. I have no way of checking that. That represents 8% of the total eligible voters who have already voted in North Carolina. So Kamala Harris can say what she wants. Donald Trump can say what he wants, but the decision's already been reached. This is why voting day matters, not voting season. So October surprises are coming out every day, and they're trying to undermine Trump. Somebody's got their music playing incredibly loud, at least a quarter mile away, and I hear it as if it's right here. It's so disrespectful and rude. It's very rude. Anyway, yeah, so 8% of the ballots in North Carolina roughly have already been cast. They've already been captured by the state. Now, here's the upshot. The western counties of New York, or of North Carolina, where I said I had concern that the largely white, rural, conservative voter base in western North Carolina, in the mountains of North Carolina, with the exception of the Cherokees who have a reservation there, but not many of them there, that population overwhelmingly votes for Donald Trump and votes conservative historically. Because of the displacement, the roads missing, the bridges missing, communities wiped out, no electricity, FEMA just now showing up in some of these places. My concern was that people would not be able to vote in western North Carolina. We don't know if they can. However, I can tell you this. North Carolina reports that 76 of the 80 polling stations in the western counties that were most affected by Hurricane Helene, 76 of the 80 polling stations were in fact open on day one of early voting. That's very encouraging. Congratulations to the judges and the poll workers in North Carolina and to the county boards of elections for pulling this off. 76 of 80 polling stations actually are open for people to vote in North Carolina. That's absolutely incredible. Well done by North Carolina. Let's get those other 4 polling stations open in some location. Now, bear in mind the polling locations are not fixed normally. Typically, they are either volunteered or paid for. Different locations, schools or clinics, not usually clinics, but schools or churches or places of worship are typically the places where people go to vote, depending on where you're at in which state. So, there you have it, folks. Well, the fake news media continue with their October surprises. It is that season. There's always an October surprise to try to scupper the opponent in election. The media always pulls for the leftists and the Democrats, and no surprise this year. Bob Woodward, the washed-up has-been journalist who wrote the book about Watergate, and it seems to have a fixation on books about Republican presidencies. But Bob Woodward came out with his book in an effort to October surprise and scupper Donald Trump's chances of winning by revealing secrets about he's evil, he's a pure fascist, by turncoat members of his former administration who have no loyalty to the nation or to the president. His book carries zero weight with me and will not be on my reading list. I've read Bob Woodward's books in the past, and oftentimes he's far from objective. Now that's all. That's one October surprise. The other October surprise is old news. The Democrats have intentionally just now released a 58-page report from the House Oversight Committee, Ethics Committee, claiming that Donald Trump took bribes and overcharged the Secret Service for hotel rooms at a hotel in Washington, D.C. Never mind the fact that Donald Trump had nothing to do with the operations at the hotel in Washington, D.C. That's simply a lie. Donald Trump, that was run by his managers there. And there is a price for a hotel. That is a high-end hotel that costs a lot of money. I think it's like $1,200 a night to stay there. And they're trying to go back and claim that as president, he overcharged the Secret Service for the hotel. He didn't run the hotel, and the Secret Service can request a reduction to match the per diem. But the per diem in the city of Washington, D.C. is just a few $100s a night, and this was $1,100 a night for hotel rooms. So don't stay in such a ritzy hotel, Secret Service. Put your protectee elsewhere. The Secret Service, there are exceptions to this. We saw this many times in the military, where you can get an exception for a senior leader, a senior person beyond the per diem. Anyway, so they're trying to claim that Donald Trump profited and he took bribes from people who eventually got presidential pardons. Well, this is old news. It's a weak argument. It carries nothing. It won't change anything in the election. Desperate, desperate Democrats. Well, folks, I did a short on my other channel, the original channel, brief while ago. And that short video was about little stolen valor Timmy Walz. Timmy Walz has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. What has he done this time? Well, he opened his mouth and put his foot in it. This guy is just brilliant. The demented socialist Elmer Fudd wannabe, hunting wabbit. It's wabbit season. Can't load a shotgun, but he claims to be a Second Amendment guy. Guy who served in the military and can't load a shotgun? Seriously? Now, we don't typically carry shotguns except for military police, which they carry in cruisers, and not all of them do it. But, you know, if you've used firearms, you ought to know how to load a shotgun. First off, I don't know if he is, but reported he's left-handed, but he's trying to load his shotgun with his left hand. I've never loaded a shotgun with the left hand. I'm a left-handed firer. Always loaded my shotguns with my right hand and kept my left hand braced on the weapon. Anyway, little Timmy Walz now at a rally, either today or yesterday, told people that his poor mother's 90 years old and she has to wait for her Social Security check so she can get food. Wow, what a tragedy. That's really sad. What's Timmy Walz worth? North of 7 figures. A man who's worked his entire life as a teacher, making a ton of money there. He was in the National Guard, making money from that. He was a member of Congress, making $172,000 a year, $174,000 a year, plus incredible benefits. He didn't have to spend half his salary on all the things that we have to spend it on. And now he's governor of Minnesota. Yet little Timmy Walz can't take care of mom. She has to eat cat food to survive. She has to wait for a Social Security check. Of course she doesn't. This is just fraudulent. This is just nonsense. More lies from the pathological serial liars, Kamala Harris and Timmy Walz. That's why she picked him as a running mate, because he's a pathological liar just like her. So Timmy Walz is saying that his mother has to wait for a Social Security check. Well, number one, if she does, shame on you. Shame on you for allowing your 90-year-old mother to be eating cat food while she waits for a Social Security check halfway through the month. And he did this not to tell you about his mother, but to tell a story as if he can relate to Social Security. This guy can't relate to Social Security. He's not collecting Social Security benefits. He's 59 years of age. So, what's going on here? Well, he told the story because the lies being told by the Harris-Walz campaign is that Donald Trump will cut Social Security. That's a lie. First off, Social Security does need to be cut. People who are not Americans are receiving Social Security disability payments. People who've never paid into the system, who never came here, shouldn't be getting a penny. That's not the purpose of Social Security. They shouldn't be getting a penny. That would save us hundreds of billions of dollars. That's the first thing. Second thing, Donald Trump is the one who's actually addressing Social Security in a fundamental way to benefit seniors. How? Donald Trump has proposed rescinding, revoking, removing the taxation of Social Security benefits. It's a retirement benefit. They're not supposed to be taxed. Retirement is deferred compensation, and you're not supposed to be paying taxes on retirement. Pennsylvania doesn't tax retirement, whether it's Social Security, a state, a corporate, or you know, a federal or military pension. It doesn't get taxed here at all. They tax regular income. Trust me, I know, 3%. It sucks. But your retirement doesn't get taxed in the state. That's the first thing. So Donald Trump wants to remove the tax on Social Security, which the federal government takes. Now, this is a compromise that took place in the 1980s. In the 1980s, when the Reagan administration, with the support of bilateral Congress, raised Social Security by doubling the rate of taxation. And when they did that, they said we fixed Social Security forever. Of course, that was a lie, because every cent that went in Social Security was stolen. Not a penny that's been paid to Social Security since 1980s is there. It's all gone. They take the money from Social Security, goes to the general treasury account, and then they decide how to spend it. And instead of having surplus in Social Security, we're now running deficits because they spent 40 years stealing our money. So Donald Trump, part of that agreement was they started taxing anyone who had Social Security benefits in excess of $10,000 a year. That's absolutely ludicrous. You shouldn't be taxing any Social Security benefits. And if you're going to tax people, you should only tax people who aren't starving to death. So if Timmy Walz's mother has to rely on a Social Security check to eat every month, the guy has a terrible son. Do you want somebody like that to be the vice president? I don't. I don't want somebody like that to be the governor of Minnesota or in my National Guard unit. What an evil, nasty person to let his mother, 90 years of age, suffer like that. It's terrible. So, it's just a lie. Trump is actually doing something. And Walz said that Trump doesn't know what Social Security is, doesn't care about people's Social Security. That's a lie. Trump has come out and said that his tax proposals include no tax on tips for service industry people, no Social Security tax. Yep. Will we ever get the deficit under control? Brett Sessoms, $2 super chat. Thank you for that. I don't think so, Brett. I think eventually the dollar will collapse, the economy will implode, and the world will go to crap as a consequence. So I'm looking at buying, when the price dips a little bit, start buying some silver coins. Gold I can't afford, but silver I can, and start stockpiling silver coins. Just saying. I'm just saying. But silver's too pricey now at over 20-some dollars an ounce. If it went back down to about $6 or $8, I would load up on silver. Anyway, hello to everybody out there. Thanks for the 69 currently viewing. Just 30 of you have hit the like button. What's that all about? Oh, so give me a little thumbs up. I don't know if I can't do a poll here, can I? It'd be too hard to do a poll. No, that's just a share button. Okay, so I can't do a poll from the mobile, but just give me some hands up. Do you like this orientation, the vertical orientation, better than the horizontal? I think you see more of me, and you know, now we got a good image here. So what do you think? Do you guys like? Hey Bernard, what's going on there? Something going down the back of my neck. Ugh. Oh, it was a bug. Oh, you little bastard. This flew down my back of my neck. Look at that. Ugh. Ugh. Piss off. 1 sec. Damn. I knew something was there. Those are invasive species. They're not endemic or from this region, and they've come in here somehow in the past couple of years, and they're nasty. I don't know if they do any harm, but they're nasty. Hey George, how's it going? So give me your thoughts. Do you like this orientation, the vertical, when I'm on the mobile versus the horizontal? Because I don't think it works so well. It works great on a phone. You look at this on a phone. Lynette prefers the horizontal. Yeah, because on a PC or a tablet, it doesn't quite look the same. I just thought I'd try it like this today, because I've been trying to adjust this thing and get my head just in the picture the past few times. Brett likes it, okay? So it's a mix. So that's 50-50 so far. Anyway, you should get more viewers on vertical, says Shawnee. I don't know about that. I don't know why you think that, but hopefully you're right about that. I'll be happy about that. I haven't checked my video on Trump over on the other channel today. It was at 92, 93,000. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it gets to 100,000. But it's a week old now. Videos don't usually last a week, so pretty cool that it's still going. But it's very obvious that YouTube hides my content, because not a single video after that. I've done 5 videos after that prepared on similar topics, all which should have been good, clicky bait and good for the algorithm. Not a single one of them has gone over 1,000 views. Sound is more important. Landscape is better, says Wilma. Okay. Rolf Corver gave 140 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. You've just triple the amount of super chats have come in here. Thank you for that, Rolf. And there's another. Is that another 140 Rand from Rolf? You do it twice? No. Looks good on both portrait and landscape. Okay, Meerkat, thank you for that. Yeah, so it's Friday. I will be okay. So a little bit of news update, because people somehow it gets missed by some folks. When I said I had to go, it wasn't an MRI, by the way. Let me give you an update on that, the medical situation. So it was an EMG, whatever the heck that's called. Basically what that is they hook electrodes up to your muscles and they zap you and push this charge down to see if the nerve works all the way through. So I went and had that done yesterday, and at the end of it, I asked the doctor, he's an Indian doctor, of course. What else? I asked him, I said, so what do you see? He says, well, you have neuropathy. You have some neuropathy. Okay, let me tell you something, folks. I didn't need that test to know that. Now, to be fair, the neurologist that I'm going to see next week, she needed that. She needed that so she can see if there's a next step, if there's something can do, or if there's a treatment plan, or if I need an MRI or something like that. So the test was necessary. But there was a big stink about whether there was money to pay for it. So the whole thing with the healthcare provider that we have, TRICARE, and that goes through Humana, which is the provider, they're just useless at times. So what happened was they keep calling me, telling me they don't have the referral. Well, I have the referral, and I took it with me, and I got there, and the lady says, we don't have the referral. I said, ma'am, this is it. She goes, no, that's not the referral. That's the referral to refer you to come here. I said, yeah. Well, we need the referral with the authorization. I said, but here it says reviewed, approved, and authorized. She says, yeah, it's authorized, you can come for the visit, but they have to authorize to pay. Well, why would they have an authorization to visit and then a separate authorization to pay? Isn't that just stupid and redundant? Well, they claimed they didn't have it. So I waited, and I said, well, they told me they faxed it here in July, and they faxed it again. So she went, looked, and found some papers. She came back. She goes, oh, we have it right here. So I had to sign a piece of paper, and that's how I found out how much it cost. That test, which lasted for about 40 minutes, cost $867. $867. So that's what, 15,000 Rand for that test. That's now I realized it probably cost tens of thousands. I got a phone number coming here. I'm going to have to answer that later. Okay. Yep. So anyway, yeah, 15,000 rand for that test. Anyway, yeah. So I told people I was going to do that, and then people are like, "Where's Chris? Where's Chris?" What happened? He's not broadcast today. Where's he at? I mentioned it all week. Well, I'm going to mention it today for the Rugby Ascendant channel for tomorrow. I will be doing Rugby Ascendant tomorrow, but I have been invited. It's rather late notice because I didn't know it. They did ask me about it a few weeks ago, but they sent me an email and didn't follow up. I will, yeah, that's it. Electromyography. That's it, Chris Marie. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know it didn't cost anything in South Africa compared to that. Used to do EMGs every Christmas, checking the Christmas tree lights. He's happy a few times. Anyway, so as I was saying, so tomorrow, the Sharks game, I likely won't cover it because I'm meeting this evening, hopefully, with folks to talk about whether they've invited me to speak at this Trump rally that's taking place at the Capitol building in Harrisburg tomorrow. I've agreed to go if they have a time slot for me and tell me how much time I have. And I'll go. I haven't done one. Trump's not there. It's not a Trump. Trump's not to my knowledge. He's not going to be there. But this is one organized by people from all over the country coming to Pennsylvania because of how important Pennsylvania is. So I plan to be there tomorrow, and that means I'll miss the Sharks game. So I'm just letting you know that now. So if I don't do the Sharks game, don't be disappointed. But I need to get positive confirmation. If they're not going to let me talk, then I'm probably not going to go. I'll decide. Anyway, so yeah. I don't want to go when 20 people show up. That would suck. Now, if 2,000 people are there, heck yeah. Anyway, but I've been asked to speak at this tomorrow, so we'll see. All right, now, what are you guys saying in the chat here before I have to wrap up here? Looks good on both landscape, peripheral neuropathy. Enjoyed your short rant about Orania. Orania, well, that was some time ago. Okay, how long does it take to get an indication who will win the election USA? Well, Lynette, I mean, in the past, we knew on election night. But since 2016, the Democrats' behind-the-scenes machinations and playing with things, it plays out over time. It's if the popular vote goes the way that it seems to be heading right now, with the constant gaffes, and by the way, the Democrats are imploding. Barack Obama's regretting getting involved with Harris. You can see it. Joe Biden is still pissed off, so there's no support coming from Barack Obama or Joe Biden for her campaign. That's problematic for her. That's a serious problem for her. And people are fleeing in droves. They just don't believe in her because they've seen her for the fraud that she is. She's an incompetent dope, and they're leaving her campaign. And that's causing problems. And so the Democrats are stalling right now. They did a palace coup to remove Joe Biden from the race. They thought that would solve the trick. They thought that with a media blitz, with all the lies and the great things said about her and claiming how wonderful and beautiful she is, that the people wouldn't ask real questions and that they would just focus on Donald Trump being a convicted criminal and Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, and that would get them across the line. Well, that's not getting them across the finish line. It was a dumb strategy, and now there's buyer's remorse. They regretting picking the dumbest ever candidate for president. At least Joe Biden, despite being despicable and being a crook, he wasn't as dumb as Kamala Harris, but she's dumb as a box of rocks. I bet if we did an IQ test on her, we'd find out she probably has about a 70 score on that. She's clearly not a bright person. Anyway, so I don't know how long it'll take. Okay, what else you got here? Yeah, Sharks better pick themselves up. Yep. Let's be real, says PK. Real about what? And you asked another question about Ibrahim Traoré. What about Ibrahim Traoré? Who's going to negotiate with him? What are you talking about? Oh, you talking about Kamala Harris? No. Oh, that's you. No way. No. Radine says, what do you think of Trump's channel? Oh, Radine, you haven't been watching my channel, man. You got to watch the other channel. At Real Chris Wyatt, REAL, Chris Wyatt. That's my news channel for U.S. stuff, my original channel. Go there, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it. Hendo or a moderator, if you can put a link into the original channel, go there and watch my stuff. You will find, and I mentioned it briefly on here because we talk about the U.S. as well, but you will find on my original channel that I talk extensively about this. I did 5 shorts yesterday plus a prepared video. And I did the one on Trump a few days ago, and I've done a bunch of videos. So what are Trump's chances? Outstanding. Trump is now ahead in the national polls. Trump has never led in the national polls ever for any of these election cycles. 2016, 2020, or this one. He's ahead in the polls, nationwide, all the polls. He's also ahead in every single swing state. But a couple of them are close, but every single. And the polls are dishonest because people lie to pollsters, we know this. And now I saw last night, the media are catching on. Suddenly the media are reporting what Chris Wyatt has been telling you all along, that in each one of these elections, there is a secret secret, clandestine Trump voter base. These are people that don't tell their neighbors, don't tell their friends, don't tell their work colleagues, don't tell pollsters that they're voting for Donald Trump because they don't like Trump, or they're afraid of being ostracized or losing their job or being castigated or being attacked, or just don't want to argue with their spouses, and they vote for Trump. That has historically been 3 to 5% of the total vote in every election that he's been in, 2016, 2020. I'm telling you now that the secret Trump vote, if it's 3 to 5%, which it's likely to be this time as it was the last 2 times, means that Donald Trump is probably up ahead, not 50 to 48, but 53 to 55 against 53-47 or 55-45. And it's game over. They are abandoning Harris in droves. Black men, Hispanics, gays, unions, white men, all abandoning the Democratic ticket. Why? Because they're trying to redefine masculinity. They want us all to be wusses. They want sissy boys. I'm not attacking sissy boys. There's nothing wrong with sissy boys. There's nothing wrong with being a wuss. But there's also nothing wrong with being a masculine man. Nothing wrong with it all. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There are people who are rude, men and women, but there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Is there toxic femininity? Femininity? No, it's utter nonsense. It's just another way to harass people. Just another way to harass people. Why does he keep giving, Doge is rising, why does he keep giving me the 140, oh, it's still there, the 140 Rand, it keeps showing up. I guess they want me to keep mentioning it, Rolf, 140 Rand. Anyway, so, yeah, Donald Trump's chances are off the charts right now. That doesn't mean he's won. Who knows what shenanigans will happen? Will be pulled out from under the table. Who knows, what lawsuits will be filed and what states aren't certified. The Democrats are demonically possessed. They're terrified that this is the end of their revolution to upend and destroy liberty and the American way. And they're right to be concerned. Donald Trump comes back in office. He can't serve another term after that. And Donald Trump knows what Washington's all about now. He knows he can't trust a lot of these people, and he's going to be a very different president than he was last time. Not that he was not a good president, but he'll be a very different president this time out. So there you go, folks. Yeah, I think Donald Trump's chances are through the roof. I said a month ago. I said a month ago, over and over, and I've said it since then. I said it will be an electoral landslide for Donald Trump. I'm right now predicting 326 electoral votes for Donald Trump versus 220 or something like that for her. No, the Electoral College cannot be removed. You have to amend the Constitution. In order to amend the Constitution and get rid of the Electoral College, you have to have a constitutional amendment that has to be passed by the House and Senate, signed by the President, and then sent to the states. Typically, you get 10 years to ratify it. It goes to the states, and 3/4 of the states must ratify it. But 3/4 of the states aren't going to ratify it when 60% of the states are controlled by Republicans, the legislatures. So the legislatures in those states must ratify it, 75%. So you've got, if you had 100, that means 75 states would have to do it. But we have 50 states. That means, 32 must ratify it. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's all talk by evil people. It's like this thing, Donald Trump will sign executive order to ban abortion. That's illegal. He has no authority over you and me. Donald Trump has no authority over me. Well, technically he does over me because I'm on the reserve list or the retired list for a colonel. He can call me back active duty. Then he can tell me what to do. But he has no say over you. No say over your body. You can't wave a wand and sign a piece of paper and say that abortions are illegal. You can't. First off, the Supreme Court has made it quite clear in overturning the unconstitutional Roe versus Wade debacle after 50 years with the Dobbs decision that it is not a decision within the purview of the federal government. We know this. The 10th Amendment expressly forbids the federal government from overseeing abortion. They have no authority to it. It wasn't expressly given to them, therefore they have no control over it. And it wasn't denied to the states. So the states and or the people must decide. So if the state of Missouri wants to hold a referendum on it, they could do that. Then they can take it to the courts if they don't like it. But no, Donald Trump can't, and Joe Biden can't sign an order, and Kamala Harris can't sign an order saying that abortion is legal. And Congress can't send a law to the president. He signs it says abortion is legal everywhere. That's illegal. And that will be overturned in the Supreme Court if that goes forward. So people need to calm down. Americans need to learn civics and learn about their system of government because they don't really know what they're talking about. Anyway, so there you have it, folks. There you have it. All right. Portrait view did not allow me to comment at time of transaction. Please just kick my name into touch. What, Rolf? Okay, so you want the horizontal view better. Okay, abortion means nothing more. I don't know what PK's saying there. Anyway, folks, unfortunately, with a big audience of 76, I really do need to go and get back inside. I apologize for that. I'll just do the portrait like this when I'm in the car. Will Trump drain the swamp? No, James, Trump can't drain the swamp. There's too many swamp creatures. Democrats, Republicans, bureaucrats, you can't drain all that. What Trump needs to do is to put patriotic, loyal Americans into positions that he has authority to appoint positions in, and then let them run with the authority to clean things up as best they can. And I'm available. I'm available. Val says, where's the button? What to like? I don't know. I don't know what's that. So is that why we're getting so few likes? Because people can't find the button? Just 42 likes, 72 people currently here. Anyway, thanks for the super chats. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. See, when we go mobile, normally we get more viewers. Although at home I'm getting over 100 on the computer when I do it regularly. But thank you all for being here. Don't sweat it. To answer Radine's question, I think Trump is way ahead. One Direction. No, that guy's dead. Elon Musk might tighten the budget. Yep. Oy vey, dude. You really drank the Kool-Aid. Tercia Basson says, I drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, now I can't go. Who are you talking to and what Kool-Aid? What Kool-Aid? Please, be explicit, be explicit. Explain what you're talking about, Tercia. I have no idea what you're talking about. Exile in Afrikaans, explain next time, says Rolf. Okay. So, what Kool-Aid are you talking about, Tercia? Are you here to troll, or, what are you talking about? What Kool-Aid? What Kool-Aid? What I'm giving you is my analysis. Now, if you don't want to listen to the analysis of someone that's been doing this for 4+ decades and has a track record of being right almost every time on almost every issue, whether it's economics or it's take your pick, then that's your prerogative. But what do you mean, what Kool-Aid? Can't find the button. Love your jacket. Yeah, there you go, Jacques. Yeah, this is an awesome one from ASICS. This is one of the best ones I ever bought. I wish I bought a second one when these came out because it's getting a little, still in good shape, but it's starting to wear a little bit here. Yeah, this is great because the temperature is just right there where it's not cold, where it's not, in the shade it's nice and cool. In the sun it's a little bit warmer, too warm for this. Top right of screen. Yeah, top right of screen, hit 3 dots. Well, on mine, I'm broadcasting, so yeah. There you go, folks. Hit the like button, the top right of your screen. Hit those 3 radio buttons and you can do it. Okay, I had some hope that you saw through Trump by now. Okay, again, Tercia, saw through Trump for what? I didn't say anything about Trump. What I just said, unless you've been here the whole time, you just jumped in. What I was asked is what I think his chances are. That's what I'm addressing. What does that have to do with Trump? Trump has nothing to do, and me seeing through Trump has nothing to do with me giving my views on whether he's going to win or not. That's a completely different topic. So, were you here the whole time? Did you hear what I said at the beginning about Trump? Is that what you're talking about, Tercia? But thank you for answering. Yeah. Well, you can hope all you want. Trump has been president, and peace broke out everywhere. Americans were prosperous. Blacks at all-time unemployment low. Hispanics all-time unemployment low. Women all-time unemployment low. Not Second World War. In addition to that, family income for all 3 of those groups, record levels. Record levels. The problem we did have is that the deficit never got solved because Congress and the presidency are cowards when it comes to that. So what is it that I need to see through with Trump, Tercia? Please share. You're very welcome, Lynette. I'm curious what Tercia is saying here. Give her a chance to get something in here. But what do I need to see through a Trump? Yes, I know, Patrick. I know, but I'm trying to give a person a chance. See, if they actually state something, then I can discuss it, and that just kind of blows it out of the water. Yeah, no, that's a refugee from the Eucalyptus channel. Yeah, a refugee from the Eucalyptus channel. He hasn't popped in for a long time. Only Trump can keep peace in the U.S. and the world going forward. Well, I don't disagree, Jacques. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, all right. Well, I got to go, folks. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Some more people found the like button thanks to that. Now we jumped up to 54 likes. So thank you for that, folks. Feel free to hit the like or dislike button, and feel free to chat and share this video with folks. But I got to get back to work now and wrap up. You guys take care. Thanks a lot. God bless. Have a safe weekend. Hopefully I'll see you on Rugby Ascendant this weekend. I'll be covering the Stormers game, the Bulls game, and the Lions game. Cheers, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.